So I'm just back from Shanghai, and while I was there, Honor sent this out to my hotel, and it is the Magic 8 Pro. So it's the first of the Snapdragon Elite Gen 5 phones that I'll be covering in this channel. And the Honor Magic 8 Pro does look very promising with that chipset, but also a very large battery, if you've got the Chinese version that is, which is 7,100 milliamp hours. And it's got a 6.71 inch screen, 120 hertz. It's OLED, up to 6,000 nits is the brightness, and a new 3.7 times optical zoom 200 megapixel camera. So let's get this unboxed and my first look and first impressions of the Honor Magic 8 Pro. So let's take a look at what is included with our Magic 8 Pro. The phone, I'll just place that to one side because I want to look at what we get inside here. So there is a SIM tray tool. And we do get a case, which is really good to see. So many brands nowadays are not opting to include cases, and a little difficult to get out of that packaging, but there we go. A clear style TPU case. So it is clear on the sides, but they've given it this matte finish here on the back. So that's going to give us some good protection straight out of the box. We get a Type A to Type C cable, and our charger, this is using Honor's Supercharge, and it's a maximum 100 watts. We also do get 80 watts wireless charging. So as I said there in the intro, that it's powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Good that they're calling it now the generations again, because they didn't say Gen 4 for the previous model. It was the Elite, but now this is the Elite Gen 5, which does make more sense to me. So the screen is 6.71 inches. And this is up to 120 hertz. It's LTPO, OLED. Brightness peaks at 6,000 nits, which is really good. Now you can see in direct sunlight here, me just testing it out very quickly. First impressions, very good because you can make out everything. It's a very clear, bright display. Didn't see it dimming down either, which is another bonus. Now you'll notice that we do have the pill cutout here. So the notch style that is not just a single cutout hole, but more of a pill, is because they've got a 50 megapixel main camera and then a 3D depth camera there, so for the face unlocking to make it a lot more secure, which is good, but the notch isn't quite as nice as just the single punch hole, which I do personally prefer. What do you like? Do you mind this, or would you rather just have a single cutout, or do you want that 3D more secure face unlocking? Well, you get it with this phone here too. So battery capacity does vary from region. With the Chinese model, it's 7,100 milliamp hours, but with the EU version, it's 6,270. Obviously, I've got the silver version here. It looks really nice, very good. Matte finish to it, picks up a few fingerprints, rounded corners, and this is really good on the build quality. So it is SGS 5-star drop resistant, certified, so it should be pretty solid. And it's a micro curved screen, reinforced frame to IP68, IP69, and 69K there too as well. So they call this the sky cyan, this color here. So we've got a black and a gold. So, and to me, it's just more like a silver color. Frame, all made out of metal, antenna lines there. Does look good. Up the top here, we have a IR transmitter and our loudspeaker there. Down below, Type-C port, which does support video out, and it does take 2 nano SIMs. You can see more antenna lines there, loudspeaker. So dual loudspeakers. Overall, really nice build to it. The fingerprint reader is ultrasonic, so it works for me every single time. And very quick too when I do trigger this. So just tap there and it unlocks, which is great. So the camera's on the rear. We've got their 200 megapixel. This is now called the Ultra Night Telephoto camera. Now it's 3.7 times optical zoom, which is great, and it's using AI image, their next generation camera setup. You can just see the AI image branding there too. That's a 50 megapixel main camera and an ultra wide, which is 50 megapixels. And I'll show you some samples later on with this. And there's this new AI button too, which is on the side here. Okay, so this can be customized, single press and double press for that. Metal buttons for volume up and down too. So the build is very, very good here from the Magic 8 Pro. Now the thickness of the phone is 8.4 millimeters. So it isn't the thinnest flagship out there, but it's not bad. The weight too, it is 213 grams, which is pretty standard considering the size of it. And as I said before, it feels really solid, high quality, materials all used throughout. So this just been the first impressions. I'm not going to go and show you any benchmarks. That'll all be in the full final review of the global version, which is coming in January 2026. But I can show you here that it is running Magic OS. It's version 10 now. This is based off Android 16. And we've got the 12 gigabytes of RAM plus the 12 gigabytes of Honor RAM Turbo, which is basically caching. And they've got the power enhanced chip, the Honor E2, and the RF enhanced chip, the C1 Plus. 512 gigabytes of storage there, and there will be further firmware updates coming through for this, as you can imagine. And yes, I got Play Store with this model, so the full normal review from me will be up and coming later on with all those benchmarks, battery life, all those kind of tests. But I'll quickly jump into the camera. We'll take a little look at this, just the camera app. So we still have under the portrait mode, and I'll show you some samples very shortly. We have our different filters. So the Harcourt Vibrant is there, color, and the black and white, and then you have different options there. So there's a lot of filters there. And going into the night mode, so that is present, other options there to use filters if you wanted to. And then on cameras, you can see the ultra wide. Now, the good thing about the ultra wide for me is it's very wide. It's 12 millimeters. Now, some other brands are still using, let's say, 15 millimeters with their ultra wides. So this is really good to see here. Then the 3.7 times optical zoom camera. Now, this does have a CEPA 5.5 rating for that stability. So it should be really good seeing that in action. So I have to test that out later, and there will be a sample in this video of that, what you can expect. We have our video mode. So 4K does go right up to 120 frames per second. And you're able to shoot that with the main camera and our 200 megapixel 3.7 times optical zoom camera, but not the ultra wide. Doesn't support that, but it does support 60. You can see now I have that option for it. We do have the portrait video mode too as well. Pro mode, a lot of different settings in here. So you can have the JPGL, RAW format, and you can change there. You can see ISO, manual focus, shutter rate, exposure compensation, autofocus, and your white balance, pretty standard. And the Pro mode does also work for video. So you've got some control over that. And again, you're going to get that 4K and 60. And if you use, no, Pro mode is not supported at 120, only up to 60 4K. And now a quick preview of what the cameras can do here with the Magic 8 Pro. So this is the 50 megapixel front facing camera, and I can set it to 1 time. So by default, I believe it's that 0.8, so a little bit wider, it gets a bit more in the shot, and it is using electronic image stabilization. Let's have a look now at the rear cameras. This is the ultra wide, which is 50 megapixels. Now with the cameras, you can shoot 4K 60 and 30. However, with the main camera and our 200 megapixel telephoto 3.7 times optical camera, they do support 120 frames per second. At the moment, this is just 4K 30, which is what my timeline is for my videos. This is using electronic image stabilization. Now the main camera, 50 megapixels with optical image stabilization. So pan around. It is looking quite steady, very good stabilization. Combination of both that optical and electronic. And 2 times preset. And over to 3.7. So that is the 3.7 times optical. 200 megapixel sensor. And I'll zoom in a bit here. So I'll just stop walking. Take this up to now, that is 5 times. And zoom in even further now to 10 times zoom. Back to the main camera. Well, we'll go to 3.7. And then the main again. And the ultra wide. Now on to stills. So first up is the Harcourt portrait mode. Yes, we still have this and it's fantastic. So the first one was the Vibrant. This is Harcourt's color. And then we have the Harcourt Classic, which is giving us that black and white. Looking very good, the results, the stitching, all good. Photos with the main camera looking good, a little bit oversaturated. There's minimal clipping here of the colors, but what I really do like is the 3.7 times optical zoom camera at 85 millimeters. It takes some excellent photos, as you can see from these sample shots. So to just give you an idea, you can see this is 23 millimeter main camera shot of Vera here, and then I take it up to the 3.7 times and look at all those details. You can see a tiny fine piece of fur on her nose and all those details of her fur. Excellent results. Shot here taken with our 12mm ultra wide. There's a bit of reflection from the window. This is taken in Shanghai from my hotel window. And you see now with the main camera looking good, taking it up to 3.7 times zoom, a lot of details there. And then now 10 times, still looking very usable and good. And then I apply 30 times digital zoom here. This is where it is using some AI to enhance this shot. And yes, you can see it, but it still makes it a usable photo. Here's another example. So 10 times zoom at the moment. So that's 230mm, and then 30 times, still looking reasonably good using the AI algorithms here and the upscaling to make this more of a usable photo, but it does work best with architecture. For these photos, I use the default vibrant mode, and yes, you can see the photos are vibrant. They're a little bit oversaturated. There is a natural preset, which is going to make things look a little closer to life. Now, I've noticed with the vibrant colors, they are a bit too punchy, so I would probably drop this and end up using the natural mode, but you get pleasant results, especially for social media. I think most people are going to be happy with this. And a bit of preview now of low light. So 3.7 times optical zoom indoors. That shot of snow looks good. This one with the main camera, lots of details captured, not bad. But I did notice the weakness is the 3.7 times optical zoom camera in low light conditions, looking quite blotchy, and definitely a bit of work to be done with firmware updates. And this shot here, there's quite a bit of ambient light around, so it does look quite bright, and overall excellent results from the main camera. It's just that zoom in low light, I feel, needs a bit of improvement. So this is shaping up the Honor Magic 8 Pro to be an excellent flagship. The build quality is superb, really well made. And I love the fact that it's got an IP68, IP69, and IP69K weather and dustproof rating to it, which is fantastic. We have the new 3.7 times optical periscopic camera. The stabilization looks very good. And so far, from what I've seen in my testing now and the samples that I've showed you, looks like it has a lot of potential. This zoom camera, the main camera looking excellent, and I do love the fact that the ultra wide is a very wide 12mm focal length equivalent. Often we see with other brands, as I mentioned, 15mm, which has a lot more of a narrow field of view. For me, an ultra wide should try to fit in the maximum that you can, and they've definitely done that there, Honor. So the screen has that ultrasonic fingerprint reader working really well. It's extremely bright, as I pointed out, in direct sunlight that I can see it without any issues, and it doesn't seem to dim down either. And Honor's claim is it can go up to 6,000 nits, which is super bright. And then it's running Magic OS 10. We're going to have Android 16 and the global version coming in January. I don't know exactly when, but that's when I will follow up with a full review of this phone here, which looks like it is going to be really good. So thank you so much for watching this unboxing and first impressions of the Honor Magic 8 Pro.